Welcome back. Well, they do say that all good things must come to an end, and a long-running festival that's coming to a close. We're talking about the Cedarhurst Arts and Crafts Fair. It celebrates the creative spirit of our region, and now I'm joined by Executive Director Hillary Esser. Hillary, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, we love having you on the show, and especially with a very kind of sentimental goodbye. So this fair, it's been a part of our region for decades. Can we just tell us a little bit about how it all started?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
We've been diving so much into the history of the craft fair as we prepare to say goodbye. I will say the craft fair started like most of our wonderful museum programs, and that is by volunteers.
Oh, wow.
A handful of women really who took the initiative, saw a couple other craft fairs starting to develop in neighboring states, and decided that we needed to be the anchor for that in Illinois. And so in 1977, we launched the first Cedarhurst Craft Fair, and as they say, the rest is history.
I mean, you know, just to reiterate to the audience, all it takes is a couple of women with ingenuity to make something really big happen.
That is so true.
Absolutely.
Especially for Cedarhurst. And we like to credit the craft fair with being one of the first programs to really open Cedarhurst up to the community.
Okay.
A very casual program, you know, brought so many people onto the grounds to visit the museum and the campus and really start to understand our organization as a community organization.
Well, as that began to evolve and more people began to see Cedarhurst and the grounds and how beautiful, what do you think the importance is for the fair and that connection to our region?
Well, I really think that, you know, as far as Cedarhurst's role and with the craft fair, it's always been our goal to really support the artists and create an opportunity that brings artists together with people who are interested in the arts. And so, you know, back in the 70s and 80s when this program was first starting to evolve, it's like we were really giving artists the opportunity to sell their wares.
Oh, sure,
you know, they don't need that as much anymore since we have the internet. But likewise, you know, giving people the opportunity to see and peruse like quality crafted items to purchase original works for their home. I mean, it really has been such a wonderful ride, and just to see how our community comes together through the arts for this weekend every year.
It really is kind of the universal language, isn't it?
It is.
The arts. Well, okay, so speaking of the internet, speaking of selling the artist wares, things like that, let's start to talk about what's drawing this to a close.
Yes, it has been a very difficult decision for our leadership team, for our volunteers, but you know, like I said, you know, our mission of bringing buyers and sellers together, you know, neither party needs that as much anymore.
Right.
Artists are doing a lot more selling online, you know, buyers are doing the same thing, they're buying online, they're purchasing less art and more home decor, you know, so there's a shift, I would say, in buyer habits. And then really from the museum perspective, the craft fair was one of our first programs, and when we started it back in the 70s, it was one of the only public community programs we were doing. And now we're doing something different really every other week. So really for our time and effort, you know, and really what it has turned into for the community, we feel like now is the right time to pull back. It is sentimental, but it is, you know, such a tribute this final year and such a wonderful celebration.
Absolutely. And it's so important, I think, that all of you recognize that and want to bring that to the community and let everybody share in the goodbye.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, for people who do want to get in on the goodbye this weekend, fill us in, please.
Okay, so there's a lot of great things going on. We have special commemorative prints available by longtime craft fair artist Sheila Lamberson. She did a custom painting for us that we have reproduced.
That's fabulous.
We'll have those on sale for anyone who wants a commemorative keepsake this weekend. We also have some special music Friday night. The Jarrells will be playing. They're very popular throughout our region, so we're hoping that draws some new people in. And then Sunday, you know, we really want this to be a grand finale for the fair. So Sunday we're doing free admission, free parking for everyone to come one last time and really celebrate this grand finale with us.
I love it. It's a last hurrah.
Yes.
Well, is there anything either about the event or anything that you'd like to share with our audience about Cedarhurst, the fair?
I would love to. I would really like to take a minute just to thank the thousands of volunteers over the year who have really contributed to make the craft fair a success. Like most museum programs, you know, our museum staff is only, you know, 10 to 15 people, and it's really, most of the programming we do is really spearheaded by our volunteers, and the craft fair is no exception to that. You know, we've seen it draw thousands and thousands of people to the museum over the years, and we're so grateful for the impact that it's had in building the Cedarhurst reputation and strengthening our volunteer base. And you know, that's not lost on us. We're just really filled with gratitude as we see this out.
Well, moving forward a little bit with it, Hillary, anybody who's interested in checking out Cedarhurst outside of the fair, where can they go?
Oh, our website, www.cedarhurst.org, is full of everything that we have to offer. Obviously, the craft fair happens this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right.
All of those details can be found on our website.
Okay.
But yes, this may be the end of an era for the fair, but really, we have so much happening at Cedarhurst. I would just encourage people to check out all of the other things that we're doing.
You really do have so much to offer out there, Hillary. Thank you for coming in and talking about the Art and Craft Fair and the goodbye. I know you will have a big crowd this weekend.
Yes, we have our fingers crossed. The weather looks perfect, so we have that in store, and we're looking forward to a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, Hillary.
Thank you for having me.